programs put data in at one end, and when it comes out the other, your operating system knows how to break each morsel of information apart and give it to the program that wants it. But peer-to-peer dial-up almost never worked that way. I demonstrated in my video on the 300 baud modems that used to dominate the dial-up world that all a modem does is simulate a very long, very crappy serial cable. That is literally true, and you can take it to the bank. Now, serial has no packet protocol. There's no framing built in. A serial port is, in no uncertain terms, a hole into which you can throw bytes, and they come out somewhere else. That's it. Once two computers are dialed up to each other, all they can do is throw bytes back and forth. There are no ports, no protocols, just bytes. If you dialed up to the internet, that added an IP layer to the mix, and you got the ports and the protocols, etc. But if you dialed up to another person, your PCs almost always just spoke raw bytes to one another, whatever protocol your chosen application used. If you called someone up to play Doom, then Doom was in charge of the modem. It controlled the serial port, and it saturated your connection with constant updates about what was going on in the game. There was no bandwidth left over for any other data, and even if there was, it was impossible for another program to shove something into the byte stream or to strip the data back out at the other end. It would have just been received by the other copy of the game and confused it until it crashed. And even that's moot, really, because if you are running Doom, well, that runs under DOS, where there's no multitasking. The game owns the whole machine as long as it's running. There's just nowhere to put a voice over IP program. And even if you ran Doom inside a DOS box under Windows, the game still had total control of the serial port. It just wasn't doable. Doom 95 was probably a different story. I think it supported IP, or at least IPX, but it didn't come out until 1996. And even afterwards, there were other popular DOS-based multiplayer games with the same limitations. But I think I've made my point. VoIP was not and could not be the solution, QED. So having finally finished the prologue, let's see what they actually did try. Between 94 and 96, several different technologies arose under the umbrella of simultaneous voice and data. I have 3 sets of modems here that offer that. I'm pretty sure their uptake was almost nothing. And that's a shame because a lot of work was put into this stuff, and not just from one company. They all use completely different approaches to the problem. In fact, the first method is so wildly different from the others that it's almost a lie. This US Robotics Acura 288 looks pretty much like any name brand modem sold in the mid-90s. It's got a big gaudy box, kind of like a Forerunner, those GPUs with the big shiny fantasy ladies on the front. It offers tons of promises, tons of bundled software. It's a desperate attempt to make you grab this off the shelf at Circuit City instead of one of the off-brand modems, which were the exact same hardware. This is something I've learned. Modems from the 80s might have had some engineering going on inside.